There are many challenges in this energy transition to a decarbonized world. It is a significant problem because our modern economy and civilization is heavily reliant on energy. Today, that energy is fossil fuels, which is carbon-based. There are three issues I want to talk about today. Number one is about the conversation itself. The problem with today's conversation is that it is heavily politicized and polarized. On one hand, there are people who disagree that using fossil fuels impacts the environment to any significant degree. But this ignores some of the volatile climate events that we see on the news every day. On the other hand, there are people demanding an end to fossil fuels altogether, which would likely end civilization as we know it. The truth is probably somewhere in between, and there is a huge need and opportunity to collaborate in a way that transcends politics and borders, and hopefully paves the way for diplomatic cooperation and peaceful coexistence. This can only be achieved using an open and honest conversation that is driven by objective data. We can then have a conversation which appreciates there is no one-size-fits-all solution for all countries, particularly for a country like Singapore, which has limited energy solutions due to geopolitical realities. The second issue is around equity and access. Energy transition can be quite unequal, especially when we transition to cleaner technologies, which are today very much more expensive than fossil fuels. For example, some of the alternative fuels that we are studying into, at today's cost curve, can be 5 to 6 times more expensive than LNG, which is significant. Access to affordable and reliable energy is something every country and its citizens want. It is difficult to explain to a child in a resource-rich country why it cannot use, say, coal because of climate change. This will deny them access to essentials such as lighting or even education. The opportunity here is for us to find ways to manage the concerns of these countries, such as using technological transfers through training programs, knowledge exchange initiatives, or transfer agreements. We can also do investments in carbon credits in these countries, which will be a type of wealth transfer. Other ways include finding financial mechanisms using international funds to assist these developing nations to adopt the clean energy technology. This will ensure that energy transition will equitably impact the world positively. The last issue I want to touch on is how do we manage the transition without damaging the economy? Today, many industries rely on fossil fuels to run, and there are no renewable energy sources which can provide the same level of affordability, reliability, or even intensity. We need to balance near-term demand growth with our transition objectives and keep investing in our existing systems to ensure that energy demands are met. Energy demand globally continues to grow, and without investments in our current systems, we will likely see volatile energy prices, which will then have an impact on investment decisions and consumption patterns. The opportunity here is for the energy industry to leverage its expertise and innovation to drive solutions. This includes making use of existing assets or infrastructure, converting them such that they are able to use renewable energies partially or in dual-use mode. The industry can also drive cleaner operations by investing in technology such as carbon capture, hydrogen, or biomethane. In summary, the energy transition is an extremely complex journey, and it requires a balanced portfolio. It cannot be solved by one company or even one country alone. It requires diverse investments and collaboration and support systems across the energy sector. The energy industry is thus a key contributor in energy transition.